New leadership will soon be chosen for more than 8,000 workers in the state's public and nonprofit sectors, represented by Service Employees International Local 888. The union's current president, Brenda Rodriguez, is retiring, but the election takes place when public sector unions face new challenges, from the pandemic to the Supreme Court decision that potentially curbs the influence of labor in political advocacy. Among the candidates stepping forward as a potential successor is a longtime union member who worked for the Boston School Department, Jorge Vargas. Thank you very much for being with us, Jorge.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for welcoming me to your show. Really excited to be here and the opportunity to greet your viewers and talk to our members throughout the state.
Jorge, you work for the school department, as, if I'm not mistaken, in the planning and engineering department. So it sounds like you're not only a frontliner, but a really essential worker for making the schools safe for learning. What do you do exactly?
Yeah, that's correct, Chris. Thank you for that question. And what I do is I am a HVAC supervisor. So I basically supervise the repair, maintenance, and construction of our mechanical systems for our school. We are a team of three members. And Steve, we work under the direction of Steve, my coworker Bob. So we're responsible for 125 buildings. So briefly, during the onset of the pandemic, one of the things that we wanted to do is take leadership during this critical time. So we put teams together within our division to address the crisis. Like for example, Steve was taking care, and our boss, Tony Pomela, we were taking care, making sure that we were increasing ventilation, replacing filters, and adjusting and replacing equipment as it was needed. Bob and myself, what we took upon, it was the COVID cleaning of our equipment. So in record time, we were able to address many of our schools with contractors, different contractors, our 125 buildings, and making sure that our buildings were COVID clean, our ventilation systems, in 125 buildings with a group of very talented mechanics and contractors. It was a great opportunity to make our schools safe. That also gave me the opportunity to work with other members of the community and other groups, such as the BTU. They have a great team, and I was able to stay in contact with them to make sure that their needs of the teachers and students were addressed.
One of the points I've seen you make online is that the current union structure is ill-equipped to deal with challenges like the ones presented by COVID-19. What does that mean exactly?
What that means is that we need representation. We need to protect our members. We need to improve the services that we provide. We need to be out there. As a member, some rank and file member, I try to make myself available and go there to the sites. I understand that there are some challenges, especially during this difficult time, and to have person-to-person meeting. But our structure right now, and many of the structures have been ill-equipped to address the challenges. So it is crucial that we go out there and meet with our members. Chelsea Soldiers Home, Holyoke Soldiers Home, and many of our members throughout the state. We have school workers, municipal workers, state workers, higher ed, public authorities, early education. So we gotta be there. We cannot do FaceTime all the time. Some of the unions have been brave, and I wanna take some of these practices so we can be out there and talk in person with our members, listen at their concerns, because sometimes FaceTime and when you are writing emails or phone calls, a lot of things get missed.
I also want to look back in time, because you are sort of a second generation union person. Your father was involved in labor, even had meetings at home. What did you learn from that?
What I learned from that is when we have good communication, when we are able to talk about the issues that bother us, sometimes our differences, and find our similarities, it makes you stronger. It makes you grow. I felt the fraternity from my dad. It was just really exciting to see and to know that when we were experiencing a difficult time, there was somebody there for us trying to help us out. His co-workers and even some of the people and superiors that my father worked with. We were able to build that fraternity there. It was a good climate, and I see that level of confidence where members can rely on on their union, it has been lost. It has been lost for the time, and I want to restore that because right now a lot of institutions have failed to respond to our members, and ours is not an exception. And I want to work to restore the trust in our union and bring transparency and growth to our institution.
Unions also represent non-members, at least at the bargaining table. And the Supreme Court ruled a few years ago that if non-members, don't want to pay agency fees, they don't have to. They can save some money, and maybe some of them have a problem with the political policies of leaders of the unions, especially on the national level. So, how do you do to, what are you going to do as president to, I guess, cut back on some of the losses from that Supreme Court decision?
Well, that's a very good question, Chris, because what members will need and want, first of all, they want representation. So if you are there listening to their needs, listening to their difficulties and even their cries, like during this crisis, you can hear a lot of difficulties that the members are going through. Like, for example, a living wage is crucial for our members, and to feel that they have a voice within these organizations. We have a political organization, and that's another thing that I'm planning to do, planning to work on changing the structure so it's a democratic, it becomes a democratic or more democratic organization, because members need to have a voice. Where I cannot speak for all unions, but what it has worked for other unions is that when you endorse a candidate, you have to have a majority by by the membership in order to endorse that candidate. And that's what is missing. We are missing that democratic part where we involve all members, that they feel that they're participating. Because when you feel that you are being left out, that the system is working against you, that even if you're paying dues, you're not being listened, and there are things happening behind the scenes, that's when you lose the trust of your membership. So in order to maintain a strong membership, you need to be transparent, and you also need to be giving them the services that they require so they don't feel like they're being left out.
I know already we're seeing the Latinx population being more of a factor and a presence in organized labor, but that also goes on in the workforce as well. There are people out there, who need someone to advocate for them, even if they don't belong to unions. Do you see that as part of your mission?
I see myself as a bridge, as a connection, because there is so much division in our society that we see as a whole at the national level. And had the opportunity to be here, to move to Massachusetts when I was 17 years old. And I feel connected to the many communities that have embraced me. I don't see, it sounds like a cliche. You see beyond race and color, and that has been my case. Uh, from very early, my parents, my teachers, my mentors, I had the opportunity to work back in when I first started in the Boston City Council for Councilor Marta Hennigan at the time, clerk magistrate today. So I felt another member of the Hennigan family, and so many great people that welcome me. So I see myself as a product of the difficult changes that our society that is experiencing now. And rather than contributing to this division, I want to be a bridge and be part of the solution.
By the way, I know the Janus decision by the Supreme Court makes it a little bit more difficult, at least for unions to engage in politics. But what would you like to see your union do as far as political engagement to help advance its agenda by getting more people out to vote, for example?
When it comes to political engagement, I am somebody that has been for a while involved in the political scene of our city in our state, and I think that what needs to happen is we need to engage our politicians on the one-to-one basis. I have no problem going to the city council. I've been in the I was recently at the Chelsea City Councilor at a city council meeting. I've been frequent times at the Boston City Council, have a good relationship with my state reps and state senators, and been building those relationships with throughout the state. And as a president, I will want my memberships to be part of the equation, not me being the voice, but them advocating for what they want, for their vision, because I can only be that bridge for the things they seek to achieve, but they have a better understanding what are the areas they want to in their respective areas. Like for example, we're talking about the state lottery. We got members at the state lottery. We need them to have a voice before our elected officials. So I need to be able to connect them with the right politicians that are gonna speak on their behalf, that they can fight for the causes that they need, or or higher education. When we talk about UMass Lowell, Chelsea in Holyoke Soldiers Home is a typical case where building a relationship with Dan Ryan in Massachusetts, Sal Di Domenico in the area of Charlestown, Chelsea, the area that they cover, or John Bellis on the other side of Holyoke, having those connections and building coalitions is going to be critical in helping out our membership, and not only our membership in this case, but the community and our veterans.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your time, Chris.
That was Jorge Vargas, candidate for president of SEIU Local 888. We'll have more news in just a moment.